Most people say time is limited, that you live fast, make your mark, and then it's all over. Yet there's one creature lurking in the coldest oceans that never got that memo. Imagine something so ancient it's older than modern civilization, so unhurried that centuries pass like mere days. This isn't science fiction. It's the Greenland shark, a creature rumored to live 5 centuries or more, defying every expectation we have about age, survival, and how life itself unfolds. Today, we're diving into the chilling world of this nearly immortal predator, exploring rumors of monstrous meals, bizarre reproduction, and the unsettling possibility that it might still hold countless secrets hidden beneath the Arctic ice. The Greenland shark's official record shows it as the longest-lived vertebrate on Earth, clocking in at up to 500 years old. But there's a heated debate among researchers. Could some of these sharks push that boundary even further? Rumors have swirled about Greenland sharks that might outlive humans by multiple generations. One anecdote tells of a massive specimen that was netted only a few decades ago, its age estimated at close to 400 years. Even more astonishing, a handful of scientists speculate some individuals may approach 600 years old, far exceeding any other vertebrate lifespan we've documented. But how do researchers even figure out a shark's age when it doesn't have easily readable structures like tree rings? Scientists often rely on radiocarbon dating of the lens proteins in the eye. The results have been surprising. Some sharks show eye lens data that predates major historical events like the founding of the United States or even Shakespeare's final works. Just think, a creature alive when the Mayflower first set sail might still be gliding through the dark Arctic waters today, completely unaware of how many empires have risen and fallen. Experts still argue about the reliability of these measurements, but one thing is certain. These cold-water behemoths are living timelines, silent witnesses to centuries of history passing above them. The Greenland shark inhabits some of the most inhospitable corners of the planet. Dwelling primarily in the Arctic and North Atlantic oceans, these sharks thrive in icy waters that would kill most other marine life. Their sluggish style has earned them the nickname sleeper sharks, because they move so slowly that scientists were initially unsure how they caught any prey at all. They often cruise at a lazy pace around 1–2 km/h, just slow enough that an average human in warm waters could outswim them. Of course, any attempt to race a Greenland shark would require braving sub-zero temperatures thousands of meters down, so perhaps they're more formidable than they appear. Their appearance doesn't exactly scream apex predator either. Greenland sharks have short, rounded snouts, relatively small dorsal fins, and tiny eyes often rendered useless by parasitic crustaceans. Unlike more iconic sharks with sleek lines and menacing silhouettes, Greenland sharks look almost understated. Their color varies between creamy gray, dusty brown, and pitch black, blending perfectly into murky depths. People who've encountered them up close say that size is their most striking trait. Averaging 2.5 to 5 meters, these giants rival great white sharks in length and sometimes exceed 2,000 pounds in weight. There are unconfirmed tales of 7-meter individuals prowling the deep, enormous forms that slip silently through the gloom where no sunlight penetrates. But location rumors go beyond just the Arctic. In recent years, scientists have documented Greenland sharks as far south as the Caribbean, though likely only in very deep waters that mimic their frigid homeland. Some experts propose that the species may be even more widespread than we realize, hiding in underexplored ocean trenches that push the definition of habitable. If true, it means our planet's largest, oldest sharks are quietly lurking in far more places than we ever suspected. And if you're thinking, if it's so slow, what does it actually eat? You might be surprised by the shocking variety of meals these sharks have consumed. Greenland sharks snack on fish like smaller sharks or eels, but scientists have discovered far more bizarre items lurking in their stomachs. Polar bears, horses, reindeer, and even entire chunks of moose. This raised eyebrows in the research community. How exactly does a slow-moving shark catch something like a reindeer? The leading theory is that these land animals likely fell through ice shelves or ventured into icy waters, only to become sinking carcasses that the sharks either stumbled across or sniffed out. Essentially, if something ends up in the water, these sharks won't pass up the meal. That said, some controversies revolve around exactly how active Greenland sharks might be as predators. While most experts see them primarily as scavengers that rely on stealth and suction to feed, there are rumors, though not well substantiated, about them taking live seals or even going after larger marine mammals. Without direct observation in their deep, frigid habitat, the reality of their hunting style remains largely speculative. But there's no denying that their presence can be intimidating. Think about it. A 5-meter predator that's had centuries to hone its technique, lurking in near-total darkness, armed with a mouthful of sharp teeth. Their feeding method might be the strangest part. When the Greenland shark finally makes its move, it does so quietly. It creeps up on prey, often sleeping or unaware, and creates a massive suction by opening its buccal cavity. The pull is enough to swallow smaller creatures whole. For bigger meals, it simply clamps down, twisting its body to tear off substantial chunks. It's an evolutionary strategy that clearly works, since they've been surviving longer than any of us can even imagine. Most sharks provoke endless curiosity about how they mate, but Greenland sharks take that curiosity to a whole new level. No scientist has ever documented them breeding in the wild. What we do know comes from studying battle-scarred females discovered with bite marks, signs that, much like other shark species, Greenland shark males clamp onto the females to secure themselves during the act. It's believed that fertilization is internal, and the female retains the eggs for up to 18 years. 18 years of gestation may sound impossible, but that's one figure floating around in marine biology circles. Even more extraordinary is the fact that these sharks don't become sexually mature until they're at least 100, or even 150 years old, according to recent research. That's older than many humans ever get, and these creatures are just then entering the dating pool. Think about how unbelievably patient you'd have to be if your species required a century or more to reach adulthood. Then there's the matter of litter size. Anecdotal evidence and the remains found inside some large females suggest that they can carry hundreds of pups at once. But once those pups are born, it's every shark for itself. Greenland sharks typically lead solitary lives, so these newborns presumably vanish into the dark, cold waters, where they begin a slow, centuries-long journey toward adulthood. While Greenland sharks have endured centuries of harsh Arctic conditions, modern human activity now poses significant challenges. They're officially considered vulnerable, and even that designation might underplay how precarious their situation is. According to some estimates, thousands of Greenland sharks die each year as unintended bycatch in fisheries targeting other species. In northern waters where commercial fishing is common, these creatures can become entangled in large trawl nets or long lines, pulled to the surface where they rarely survive. Add to that the fact that around 1,000 are still deliberately caught annually for their skins and meat, and you have a recipe for a shark population decline if practices don't change. Climate change further complicates the picture. As Arctic ice melts and ocean temperatures rise, the Greenland shark's habitat could shift in ways we don't fully understand. Warmer waters might push them to migrate deeper or alter their hunting patterns. Some scientists suggest that the species could adapt over time, given its slow metabolism and historically wide range. But adaptation for a creature that matures at around 150 years might not keep pace with the fast-moving effects of global warming. The next few decades could see them facing competition from species that weren't typically found in Arctic waters. In recent years, efforts have ramped up to tag and track Greenland sharks, shedding light on their migratory patterns and population numbers. However, controversies abound. Some environmental groups argue that tagging can be invasive, stressing these long-lived creatures unnecessarily. Others say it's the only way to get solid data to protect them effectively. Meanwhile, local fishing communities often rely on shark products economically and resent any push to ban or heavily restrict the catch. It's a delicate balance and one that's far from resolved. For all we know about Greenland sharks, there's so much more we don't. No one has witnessed their mating rituals in the wild. Their full distribution remains speculative, with sightings occasionally popping up in unexpected locations. There's even talk among some researchers that these sharks might hold clues to anti-aging research. After all, if they can thrive for centuries, what secrets lurk in their genetics? Then there are more outlandish rumors floating around. A few fishermen and locals share whispered tales of Greenland sharks big enough to threaten whaling boats, though scientific evidence for such encounters is scarce. Others claim that certain cultural groups use the shark's tissues in arcane medical or spiritual rites. Though many of these stories remain in the realm of hearsay, they underline a fascinating truth. The Greenland shark is so little understood that it practically invites speculation. With ongoing innovations in marine science, we might see deeper dives into Arctic trenches, advanced genetic testing, and more accurate radioisotope studies. Each new piece of evidence could overturn what we thought we knew. Could we discover a 600-year-old shark, proving the species can survive across half a millennium or more? Will climate change force them closer to populated coasts, leading to new interactions and potentially new conflicts? Every question feels like the lead into a story that hasn't yet been told. One way or another, these creatures have navigated countless ages in secrecy. But does that secrecy have an expiration date? The Greenland shark is an enigma that flips our understanding of life's limits. Born in icy darkness, it grows slowly, sometimes over centuries, prowling the depths at a pace unthinkable to most fast-living species. It devours whatever the sea offers, from fish to reindeer, and defies adversity even after blindness and parasites try to claim its senses. When it finally reproduces, it does so in near-complete secrecy, introducing hundreds of new sharks into frigid waters they'll call home for generations. And all this happens while humans debate whether to protect them or serve them on a plate with fermented garnish. Either way, the Greenland shark stands as living proof that not everything in our world is bound by the typical rules of time. They are the quiet watchers, drifting at the bottom of the sea, bearing witness to history we'll never fully comprehend. And that, perhaps, is the most compelling reason to keep searching for answers. Because in the silent, slow-moving world of the Greenland shark, entire lifetimes slip by in the blink of an eye, and we're only just beginning to realize how much more we might learn from them.